Hey guys, Bitunia here. Today we're going to go over the basics of Resto Shaman PvP. Today we're going to go over the rotation for Resto Shaman. So if you want to check out any Resto Shaman games I have on the channel, you can click the playlist up in the right hand corner. If you want to check out the basics of Holy Paladin, you can look at the channel. It's not that hard to find. It's also linked to the playlist in my description. But yes, the rotation is very simple. We're going to kind of go into depths here. So the main rotation revolves around this Riptide. Riptide is an instant cast heal, 6-second recharge, max 2 charges. It's 3 because I'm a Farseer. We'll go over Farseer and Totemic, what they really influence the rotation, but that's going to be towards the end of the video. Right now we're going to go over the general rotation. But yeah, Riptide is our instant cast heal. This is basically what we're going to be spamming the most. You see here, does pretty good instant healing, also applies a nice little heal over time, awesome. But why is this very important? You know, it's not just the healing, it's not just heal over time, there's a lot of stuff that really goes into Riptide, much like the Holy Shock for Holy Paladin. It has a lot of versatile use, so many talents integrated into this one button. For one, Riptide procs this buff called Tidal Wave. Tidal Waves grants us 2 stacks. Whenever we cast Riptide, Tidal Waves reduces the cast time of your next healing wave or chain heal by 36%, or increases the critical effect chance of your next healing surge by 54%. These aren't the real percentages, it's only that high because I have the Foreset. Foreset enhances the Tidal Waves buff. What the frick? Foreset's not really that worth, don't really bother running it. I kind of just run it just because, why not? It's kind of whole reason, you know, tier systems even exist nowadays, is to run Foreset, so I run it just for the memes. But yeah, I think the real percentage is about 30% to the crit effect of your healing surge, and then like 20% to the reduced cast time. I think that's what the percentage is. But yeah, very important to have this buff up. You're never not gonna have this buff. I mean, it procs off of your Riptide, so you're always gonna have, you know, those 2 charges available. So very, very good. You also have this buff called Deluge. Deluge increases the healing of our chain heal, healing surge, or our healing wave on targets affected by our healing rain or Riptide. So this Riptide target right here will have, you know, some nice increased healing to my healing surge, my healing wave, and my chain heal. So always make sure you have Riptide available on that target, your primary target you're healing, so to get a nice bit of extra healing if you are going to go for those casts. Next we have Ancestral Vigor. Very nice. This pretty much gives us 10% increased maximum health on targets we cast Riptide on, Chain Heal on, Healing Surge on, Healing Wave on. So see here in PvP combat, I have 7 mil. I Riptide myself, I'll have 7.7. So 700k HP. That's a lot. That's a lot of extra. That's a lot of extra health. So very nice talent right there. Coming down here, we have this buff called Deeply Rooted Elements. Not buff, but it's a very good proc-based skill. Casting Riptide has a 7% chance to activate Ascendance for 6 seconds. Really, really nice. It's really important to just spam Riptide. There's so much stuff that goes into it, and proccing that Ascendance, I mean, you saw that I procced it a couple bits ago when I was explaining something else. But yeah, 7% chance to proc Riptide is pretty damn nice. Ascendance is basically your god mode, kind of just going into a lot of spread healing. So, very nice there. We also have a couple talents over here called Prometide Core. Every forward cast of Riptide also applies a Riptide to another friendly target near your Riptide target. This does everything. It applies the instant healing of Riptide, applies the heal over time, so very nice. You'll see here that target also got Riptided, so there's a lot of extra spread healing when you are dumping those Riptides in. And you also have Undercurrent. For each Riptide active on an ally, your heals are 1% more effective, so very, very nice here. This buff, Undercurrent, yeah, very, very nice having this buff up at all times. Alright, so Riptide has many uses. This is what we're going to be spamming 90% of the time. This is the main prio. Nothing overcomes Riptide unless under a few circumstances, but so long as the Riptide charge is available, that's what you're going to be pressing. Now, in between that, we're going to be plopping down this Healing Stream Totem. Healing Stream Totem is very nice. 24-second recharge, 18-second duration, and heals a target every 2 seconds for a nice bit of healing. So it's always important to make sure we have this Healing Stream Totem down. It's just going to give us a lot of extra, you know, extra healing, and we don't really have to think about too much, other than simply just managing it and making sure you have one Healing Stream Totem down at all times. So very good. Does a lot of healing. So you see here it's about to fade away. My Healing Stream Totem is recharging. It fades away. I plop another one down. Boom. I'm gonna have that extra healing. Now I'm going to get another charge back very soon, and I'll have it available once this Healing Totem fades away. So that's kind of the only bit of management you really need to do as a Resto Shaman. It's just making sure you have the Healing Totem down at all times. Now, talents that affect Healing Totem, we have Living Stream. Healing Totem heals for 100% more, decaying over its duration. So you're going to get the max healing at the start, and then it's going to decay. So ideally, like I said, you want to space these out. Plop one the minute the other one falls off. However, if you need healing like right away, then it's not the end of the world if you have to double stream. If I'm really struggling on healing, I'll double stream sometimes, you know, just to get the healing off. Obviously, I'm going to lose a bit of consistency because I don't have a charge available for when these drop. But if I need to heal it, I'm desperate for healing, you have to make some choices, and that's going to be one of them. So just thought I'd point that out there. We also have this buff here called Elemental Resistance. This gives us reduced damage to fire, frost, and nature whenever we are healed with the Healing Totem. So very, very nice. I'm not sure if it's that great for RBGs unless you are a Totemic, but for 3s and no more arena, yeah, this is very nice. Just having, you know, just a nice bit of damage reduction against those boomkins, against those elemental shamans, those frost DKs, those mages, frost mages. So very, very nice. Now, in between that, we're also going to do a thing called keeping track of Urshield. This is important. So Urshield is much like our beacon of light for the Holy Paladin. It's a buff that we want to keep on our primary target at all times. So what Urshield does is that it, lag it here, very nice. What it does is it places a shield on the target, has 9 to 12 charges, 9 charges at a default, 12 charges if you're a Farseer. And whenever they take damage, it'll consume a charge with this Urshield and heal them. The internal cooldown is about 3 seconds to 2 seconds with the talent. So it does good healing whenever they take damage. It increases the healing I do to that target by 20%, and also reduces the damage they take by 3%. So always make sure you have this buff on your target. Now you might be wondering, well, when should I swap it? Very simple, swap it if you really need to. In 3s, I suggest not swapping it all too often. Like if it's spread damage, just make sure you have it on your primary target. Don't really swap it too often. But if they're doing a really nasty swap go, sure, you know, you can always swap it. That's fine. The only reason why I say don't swap it is because of these couple talents over here. So we have Earthen Harmony and Reactive Warding. These two are the kind of some reason for why I suggest not swapping your Urshields as often as you probably are doing, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're that good at the game. Earthen Harmony. This is what reduces the damage that target takes by 3%, but it also increases Urshield's healing by 150% as its target's health decreases. Maximum benefit is reached below 150%. So this is what's going to make Urshield itself do really big healing. And this is the reason why it's doing almost top healing in your healing breakdown. Amazing stuff. Now we have Reactive Warding. This is a new talent that was added a previous patch. So when refreshing your Urshield, your target is healed for 102,000 for each stack of Urshield they are missing. So that's why it's important to make sure you have Urshield on primarily one target and keeping it on that target, because Reactive Warding, refreshing that Urshield whenever you're at low stacks, you know, like that 1 to 3 stacks, is going to give you so much healing. This is what's really going to give you, this is what's going to do the max healing on Resto Shaman. This is what's going to put up the big numbers if you are kind of greeding it a little bit, edging it, wink wink, edging it a little bit at those like really low stacks. This is what's going to put up, you know, really big numbers. So these two are the reason why you don't want to swap your Urshield too often. You want to get Reactive Warding healing because it's a lot of healing, and Urshield itself is going to do a lot of healing on that primary target. So if you ever have to heal anyone else, that primary target is still going to have that Urshield healing on them to keep them safe while we're healing other targets. And then when I focus back onto that target with my Urshield, I can give them a nice juicy Reactive Warding Urshield that'll do some pretty big numbers. Now in RBGs, it's a little bit different. The same rules don't apply because everyone's getting swapped to, especially in really tight, close maps like Eye of the Storm and Silver Shard Mines. Yeah, everyone is getting swapped to, so you have to kind of almost preemptively swap Urshield if you really think that someone's going to get swapped to. So again, depending on what class or what comp you're running, if you're running like a pretty nasty melee cleave, the weakest of the melee that are in there, maybe like the warrior, the fear warrior, or the demon hunter is gonna. I mean, if you have a demon hunter, like imagine having a demon hunter, but you know your weakest melee are gonna be the ones that are gonna most likely get swapped to. So you know you're gonna want to preemptively do it and make sure they are actually getting swapped to. But yes, if you don't have to swap Earth Shield, don't swap Earth Shield. You're just gonna lose out on a lot of a lot of healing and a lot of reactive warding healing. So thought I'd throw that in there. Now, in terms of other spells, we have our Cassid Heals. You know, sometimes the Riptides and the Healing Stream Totems are just not enough. We need more power. So that's where the Cassid Heals come in. We have Healing Surge, Healing Wave, and Chain Heal. Chain Heal is primarily for RBGs, and even then, I really rarely cast Chain Heal unless under one situation. But even that doesn't really come along that often, so I'm not really going to talk about Chain Heal too much. But for my other two heals, Healing Surge and Healing Wave, Healing Surge is what's going to put up the big numbers. So when it comes to your casted healing, you don't want to cast anything unless you have your Tidal Waves. I don't want to see like this Healing Surge sucks. I don't want to cast Healing Surge unless I have a Riptide on them for that Deluge and a Tidal Waves buff to increase the effectiveness of my heals. So I want to make sure I have a Riptide available on the target just so I get 15% increased healing on my casted heals. And then also the enhanced of Tidal Waves to buff my my next healing surge. So you saw there that 850k to that 200 and what 2 million something. Yeah, it's a big difference when you have all the enhancers ready. So healing surge is what we're really going to look towards for casted heals. This is nice and quick. Who cares about the 110 mana? We don't care about that. We need something quick and we need some power. Healing surge is going to give that. Now healing wave is a bit different. If you want to save on mana, that's completely fine. But when you're having to cast, you want impact, you want power, and healing surge is going to get that power. So there's really no reason to cast healing wave. You know, when you're most likely going to have a Riptide available, you're really just looking for power. Healing Wave doesn't give you that power. Now, Healing Wave is mostly used for a combination of spells. So it's combined with your Primordial Wave, the Ancestral Guidance, and the Nature Swiftness. This has been the bread and butter of Resto Shaman for the past couple expansions, of having this kind of combination of these spells. The Primordial Wave, it applies the Riptide to the target and makes your next Healing Wave heal targets affected by Riptide for 40% of its normal healing. So you can already kind of put two and two together. Your next healing wave is going to do some pretty nasty spread healing. Now, combining this with the Ancestral Guidance, 2-minute cooldown, 10% of the healing you do is converted onto healing up to 3 nearby injured allies. Yeah, it's just extra spread healing. So this is going to proc off of your healing wave, the healing waves you get from your Primordial Wave, a lot of spread healing. And then the Nature Swiftness is just simply there to kind of make it easier to get off. Now there's one last skill we're going to combine with this, and it's the Unleashed Life. Unleashed Life is very vital to your rotation. 15-second cooldown enhances a lot of your other skills. Primarily what we're going to focus on is the Riptide, Healing Wave, and Healing Surge. 35% increased healing with that Unleashed Life buff. Very nice. Make sure you have the Riptide on the target. Get that Unleashed Life and dump whatever heal you want to. You saw there healed for 3 million. Yeah, look at the difference between that. The 815k with no enhancers to the 2 million to now the 3 million. Yeah, it's a lot of action here. I want to use it on a Riptide. Cool. I'll use it on Riptide. I'll Unleash Life and then I'll Riptide. Because it's buffed with Unleash Life, not only is the instant heal going to do more, but the heal over time is going to do more. So you see here, this one's taken for 21, this one's taken for 16. Pretty gnarly difference when it comes to PvP. But yeah, we're making sure we're pumping Unleashed Life off CD every single time. Alright, using it on either your Riptide for the instant heal or for your Healing Surge if you need something with a lot of potency. Now going back to what I was talking about with the whole Nature Swiftness window, yeah, Primordial Wave, Ancestral Guidance right here, the Nature Swiftness. This is the real bread and butter of Resto Shaman. Resto Shaman has lacked an ability that grants you an instant effect. You know, the Lay on Hands, it's never been a reactive type healer. You know, the Lay on Hands, the Void Shift for the Priest, the Revival, the Cocoon, something that you can press and it immediately gives you the beneficial effect, other than Spirit Link, but I mean, Spirit Link's a huge joke. You don't got nothing. However, this, although it's a long build-up, it can give you some pretty nasty healing. Alright, get the Riptides out there. Boom, boom, boom. get the Primordial Wave out there. Amazing. I'm going to get the NS, Unleash Life, and I'm going to get a nice big healing wave. You see all the numbers popping up there. The healing wave itself is doing pretty nice healing. I don't know why it healed for 630 here, but I'm assuming that's the lesser healing wave from the Primordial Waves. But yeah, it's going to do some nice healing. It's going to give you a lot of spread healing. Amazing. Now for your hero talents, what do they do? Do they influence your rotation at all? For Farseer, it just influences your rotation to make sure you're doing it 1,000 times better. So if you have any gaps, better fix it. Farseer takes the rotation of Resto Shaman and times it by 2. It gives you another charge of Riptide, so you're going to want to be spamming Riptide even more. Unleash Life will now proc this Ancestor that'll cast Healing Surge whenever you cast your nice little healing spells. So if you're having any gaps of your Unleash Life, you better fix it, because this should be pressed immediately when it comes off cooldown to make sure you have maximum uptime on that Ancestor. Riptide, if you're not already spamming Riptide, you better do it even harder now, because you have routine communication. Riptide has a 15% chance to call an Ancestor to your side for 6 seconds. Pretty nice. And then you have Ancestral Swiftness. This basically makes the whole setup of the Primordial Wave, the Ancestral Swiftness, Guidance, all that jazz much more powerful and easier, since this replaces your Nature Swiftness with a better one by reducing the cooldown of it by 30 seconds and also increasing the healing it does by 10%. So that whole Nature Swiftness, Primordial Wave, Unleash Life window can happen every single 30 seconds. So you pretty much use it off CD if you really want to for maximum benefit. So very nice. But yeah, Farseer really doesn't change the rotation in terms of adding anything different. It just makes your current rotation that much more important to maximize. And then Totemic. Totemic gives you some bit of stuff here. So Totemic gives you this Surging Totem that places Healing Rain at the target location for 24 seconds. Last 24 seconds. Cooldown of it is 24 seconds. So you're going to want to make sure you have this down on the ground at all times. It is pretty mana hungry, so you are going to need to play Rain Dance to reduce the mana cost and increase the healing. So it's going to do some pretty nice healing. This is going to be one of your top heals, probably your second, most likely going to be your second heal. So very, very powerful. Yeah, that's really the only thing that changes with Totemic in terms of rotation. Just plopping down the Surging Totem. Other than that, it's very standard, same thing. Casting the Riptides, using Unleash Life on your Riptide or Healing Surge, whatever you need to. Making sure you have a Healing Totem down and whatnot. For Totemic, it's even less problematic if you need to double stream, as I talked about a bit earlier. If you have to double stream, you have to. As Totemic, it's not that much of a worry, since Totemic will give you some bit of healing to your Healing Totem. Reactivity will now have your Healing Totem heal a second ally at 50% effectiveness. And also you have stuff like Totemic Rebound and Lively Totems that cast Chain Heal whenever you plop down your Healing Totem. So if you have to double stream, Totemic is kind of the will kind of make it not so problematic if you really have to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole rotation of Resto Shaman. I guess one thing I forgot to add is the Whirling Elements. This is just buffs you get whenever you plop down the Surging Totem. Earth, your next Chain Heal applies Earth Living Weapon at 150% effectiveness. Air, the cast time of your next heal spell is reduced by 40%. And Water, your next healing wave or Healing Surge, also heals an ally instead of your Healing Rain at 100% effectiveness. Earth, you really don't have to worry about legit at all. That'll be applied through your totems, or sorry, through your chain heals from your totem. So you see here the buff, the earth buff right here. See, it plops down, it consumes the buff to get all my earth living weapons out there. And then the water and air, I pretty much combine that with the nice little Healing Surge, since Healing Surge of course does big healing. So I'm going to do a nice big Healing Surge here. It's going to heal another ally in here for 100% of its healing. And also have the cast reduced. It's just going to be a nice little heal. But yeah, that's kind of that bit there. But yeah, that's kind of the whole rotation of Resto Shaman. Very, very standard. If you want to know any other information about Resto Shaman, like, you know, the stats, or if you know about our tier set pieces, anything like that, all that other information, the piss information is going to be in the description. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like button down below. Let me know if you do enjoy this content. And of course, check and subscribe my way, as it does help push me into the algorithm. Alright, hopefully you had an amazing day. I'll see you guys in the next live. Alright, peace.